Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here today with Game 2 of the Best of 5 series between myself and Janet on occasion, a fellow YouTuber. Of course, I'll have a link to his channel down in the description below. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. So this is Game 2 in a series of Best of 5. So in this game, I brought the Lizardmen. As you guys can see, we're facing up against the Warriors of Chaos. So I think I spy a Kolek over on the far side. Yes, indeed. So we've got Kolek, we've got Kroq-gar. You guys know what this means. Heavyweight battle of champions here. So let's get right to it. Front line is 4 Saurus Warriors with shields. We've got 4 MLG Skink cohorts, 2 on each flank. We've got Kroq-gar, of course, on Grimlock, as well as another Saurus Scar Veteran on Carnosaur. So lots of anti-large armor-piercing, damage potentially. We've also got a Skink Priest, Lore of Heavens, on foot. He's going to be casting some spells here. We've got Curse the Midnight Wind for that armor debuff. We've got Urian's Thunderbolt and Harmonic Convergence. So lots of good spells. Harmonic Convergence is a great melee attack and defense buff. Curse the Midnight Wind is, of course, very good against armor, as is Urian's Thunderbolt. We've also got a unit of Temple Guard to act as kind of an anchor here, as well as a Revivification Crystal. So very good stuff. For Janet's build, he's got, of course, Kolek himself. He's also got a Lore of Shadows Chaos Sorcerer here. Let's look at his spell loadout. He's got Pit of Shades, the Withering, which can potentially be very good against the Lizardmen. Enfeebling Foe, which is kind of the debuff counterpart to Harmonic Convergence, and Melkos Mystifying Miasma. So great spell selection. I like all those. He's also got 2 units of Dragon Ogres over on this side with some Chaos Poison Warhounds. Another unit of Poison Warhounds over here with 2 units of Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axes. Again, really like this pick against the Lizards. These guys can help pick away at large armored dinos, and very good in general. Great mobility and so on. And then his main line is 5 units? Yes, 5 units of Chaos Marauders with great weapons, supported by 1 Aspiring Champion in the rear. So, of course, the Aspiring Champions do have that Encourage aura, as do many leadership-type units, so they can kind of help give encourage to this center pocket of Marauders as Kolek goes charging off to various parts of the battlefield, and as the Sorcerer kind of does the same. So let's go ahead and kick things into full gear and watch what happens. So first things first, I'm going to be kind of tucking up my Skinks in a defensive position on the side here to help defend against the Rad Ogres and the Poison Warhounds and the Marauder Horsemen as well. Going to be charging in my Scar Veteran into Kolek here. This is actually a bit of a mistake. I had meant to pop Harmonic Convergence to help buff the melee stats of the Scar Veteran, because he's no match for Kolek in a one-on-one duel, especially with all these Marauders providing nice armor-piercing damage around him. So he's going to get put in a trash can by Kolek real quick. My opponent also doing a very good job bringing in these Chaos Poison Warhounds to apply that poison, and also throwing in the axes from the Marauders. We do have some Saurus Warriors here in the front line to help support, but it's not going to be enough. Saurus Warriors will do very well against these Marauders, though. With their relatively low armor, I should be able to just carve them to pieces. Of course, the Bastiladon will cause terror as well. We've got, looks like a Pit of Shades incoming over here. Yep. So beautiful, sucking up quite a few of those Saurus Warriors, going to do some nice damage there. But across the main line, the Marauders are losing out. Over on this side with the Dragon Ogres here, they're going to be doing some really nice armor-piercing damage. Kroq-gar is somewhat bogged down in these Dragon Ogres over here. I'm trying to support with the Skink Javelins, who are pitching their javelins into the Dragon Ogres. Dragon Ogres don't have a whole lot of armor. They do have a little bit of missile resistance, but we should be able to still get some good value out of these Skink buddies here. Over on the far side, we were able to break a lot of the Marauder forces, and in the center, only the Aspiring Champions are holding up. This Chaos Sorcerer is having to reposition, but Kroq-gar is in a bit of trouble. He's taking tons of armor-piercing anti-large damage from those Dragon Ogres. They're absolutely giving it to these Saurus as well over here, so Kroq-gar's also got the Enfeebling Foe on him, so he doesn't have the combat stats to stand in this fight. And I'm going to just tuck and run over to the center of the battlefield, switch targets over onto this Chaos Sorcerer, and try and get him out of here as soon as possible. Do some great armor-piercing anti-large damage. Meanwhile, Kolek's doing a really nice job hunting down this Revivification Crystal. It can potentially put a lot of healing out, so Kolek does need to take it down. However, I do have the Temple Guard saturated in on here, so Janet's doing a really good job. Doesn't want to stand there for too long. He's going to switch targets over onto Kroq-gar here. Kroq-gar, unfortunately, a little bit surrounded by Dragon Ogres and Kolek, but it does look like he has the mass to just push the Dragon Ogres around, push his way out. So now most of my Saurus have actually taken quite a bit of damage from the specialty units of Chaos, and we've mostly just got Skinks left at this point to help support Kroq-gar, so Kroq-gar's running away. The the Scar Veteran did take a ton of damage initially and actually got routed off, but came back in the late game here and is just, even though it's enraged, it's doing a really nice job of keeping a lot of these Marauders over in this pocket terrified and routed off. So it's going to be really nice pick for me. Meanwhile, Kolek's just trying to keep himself secure with his Dragon Ogres here, not take too much damage from those Skink missiles. I'm kind of resecuring my pocket as well, healing up Kroq-gar with the Revivification Crystal and Cold-Blooded. Meanwhile, we're trying to finish off these aspiring champions in the center pocket here, just unloading the Skink Javelins into Kolek and his Dragon Ogre buddies here. Some really nice value there. So both the units of Dragon Ogres taking about 50% of their HP and damage. It looks like we're going to be getting a beautiful Lord of the Storm there, just shredding those Saurus Warriors. I believe there's Temple Guard saturated in here too. Let's take a look. Nope, they're over on the far side. So Kroq-gar, being supported by these Temple Guards, should be able to do fairly well up against Kolek. You can see the Temple Guard are standing up, coming to the aid of their Liege Lord here. And this is in my opinion, what makes Kroq-gar better than Kolek. Even though Kolek is better in a 1v1 duel, in a straight-up duel, Kroq-gar can continuously pull away, get healed, pull back into the fight, pull back away, you know, pop a Cold-Blooded or a Revivification Crystal to heal back his HP, and that's really what makes Kroq-gar, in my opinion, the premier kind of anti-large armor-piercing duelist in the game. No one can really come close to him. I mean, certainly Kolek can give him a run for his money, but with the healing that Kroq-gar has access to, he's definitely the champion of the world, currently heavyweight champion of the world. So in terms of the battle, it's still very close at this point. Mostly Janet's just got these two units of Dragon Ogres and Kolek left. The only thing I really have that can do a ton of damage to them is Kroq-gar, but we do have the Skinks here as well. They're relatively healthy. The Temple Guard also holding at about 50% of their HP, so these two units alone should be able to take down the Dragon Ogres if I can get the appropriate engagement. You can see me just inundating them with Skinks here, just trying to drag them down with sheer density of unit models. Since there's so few unit models left for the Warriors of Chaos, we should be able to, you know, get quite a few going. This Scar Veteran, man, 113 hit points and somehow is still fighting here. Finally gets taken down by those throwing axes there, but man, really just fought to the end. Kroq-gar's not too happy about seeing his buddy go down, so he's going to chase those Marauder Horsemen off. However, I have to be careful not to get caught too far away from those Temple Guard here. So seeing that we're kind of far away and Kolek's coming, we're going to fall back around this way, and meanwhile also screen back this way with my melee forces. Got some Saurus regrouped on the far side, definitely need to be regrouping them, as well as some, Janet's got some Chaos Marauders likewise, but at this point it's a very pitched, heated engagement here. I'm really just trying to force the advantageous engagement. I'm just trying to continuously reposition and just pick away here and there, a little bit here, a little bit there, trying to get those charges of the Revivification Crystal to just keep healing Kroq-gar. Now we're coming in for a final engagement here. You can see the Skinks making their glorious charge. The Dragon Ogres are responding with their Chaos Hound buddies. And man, these poor little Skinks, they're definitely in for a rough time. But Kolek, man, he's coming through. He's got a real hard-on for this Revivification Crystal, and understandably so. I thought about diving in with Kroq-gar there to try and finish off some of those Dragon Ogres, but it does look like the Temple Guard are doing a really good job of fending them off here with their halberds and shields. Beautiful Hand of the Gods going off. I could hear it. I didn't quite see it there, but at this point, this is the kind of the critical engagement. Balance of power is slightly in my favor at this point, so it would have been tough for... I mean, if he had been able to kill Kroq-gar here, you know, Janet might have potentially been able to come back, but at this point, I've got the Revivification Crystal and the Sacred Spawning of Zodal on Kroq-gar, meaning he's got that physical resistance, he's got that healing as well, and I'm also going to pop a Harmonic Convergence on him very shortly from the Skink Priest, who's currently fighting over in that heated battle in the center there. So here comes the Harmonic Convergence, and with that, Kroq-gar's stats go up to just ludicrous numbers. 86 attack, 67 defense. He's going to put Kolek down, and that's going to be game. So very close battle. Very well played to Janet on occasion. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Let's go ahead and get to the army breakdown. So, for myself, Kroq-gar kind of got beat up by Dragon Ogres there. You know, managed to kill a few of them, but really the MVPs in this matchup, Saurus Warriors, of course, carving up a ton of those Marauders. One of them, 132 kills, man. Absolute MVPs. 27 kills and a Chevron on the Temple Guard. Getting a Chevron on a unit that's that expensive is always a good time. They really did some nice damage to those Dragon Ogres, as well as Kolek himself. MLG Skinks with Javelins, you know, they don't really need to do a lot to pay for themselves, and the Revivification Crystal's healing was clutch as well. Kind of threw that Scar Veteran away a little bit early on, but he ended up being useful in the late game. He came back from routing and was just kind of terrorizing a lot of those Marauders, keeping them from coming back to the fight. And yeah, for Janet's build, Kolek just being the monster he is, Chaos Marauders, you know, they'll do okay, but they're going to get shredded pretty hard by the Saurus Warriors. He did invest a lot into these monstrous units. Dragon Ogres did very well for him, though. 72 and 97 kills, as well as doing a lot of damage to Kroq-gar. So, you know, Dragon Ogres actually might be a good pick in this matchup. The Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes were able to do a little bit. They didn't get any chevrons, so I don't think they did anything too crazy. But Chaos Poison Moorhounds as well. Again, these guys can help catch Skink Skirmishers and Chameleon Skinks, but I don't know if they can even beat Chameleon Skinks in melee. I would need to do some testing. So I don't know that they would really be worth it in this matchup, but still, well played to Janet. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this battle. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.